Hello, viewers. There is a rising trend in marriages nowadays where intimacy is used as a bargaining chip, a punishment tool, and a silent weapon. Some call it boundaries, some call it discipline, some call it empowerment, some even call it a power game, you know. But honestly, it is a power game and it is destroying marriages from the inside. So, I will be discussing with us today the bedroom power game, why withholding intimacy damages marriage. Many people, especially the married couples, have been misled into thinking that withholding sexual intimacy gives you power. What sort of power? For some, let's call it, it's a way of punishment. Some said for others it is for as a means for control. For few, it is for manipulation. Now, bringing 10 married men together or bringing 10 couples together, I can tell you that 9 out of 10 of them have something to say about this denied intimacy. And there has been like a misconception going on there that when you withhold intimacy, it gives you power. We are going to explore this wrong misconception, this wrong notion about withheld intimacy in this episode today. I'm so glad to announce the truth to you, the absolute truth, that withholding intimacy doesn't give power, it creates distance instead. It doesn't strengthen the bond of your relationship, it weakens it instead. It weakens trust, it doesn't provide respect at all. Nevertheless, it breeds resentment. Power game number one, using intimacy to teach lessons. I begin to wonder when the bedroom becomes a classroom. Or let's talk about, like, I want to teach him a lesson with intimacy. One of the biggest marital mistake is using the bedroom as a classroom for discipline. The spouse gets angry and says, I'll show him, I'll let her know, I'll deal with her, I'll deal with him. He was just annoyed, and then you said that, okay, she disrespected you, and then you said, I'll deal with her, and all of that. So suddenly, before you know it, the bedroom is closed like an airport during a strike. Isn't that out of proportion? But hear me clearly today and always, that you cannot build unity with the same tool that you are using for punishment. It doesn't work like that. Sexual intimacy that was meant to build trust, that was meant to build unity, you cannot use that same tool to build punishment and then revenge. So anytime intimacy becomes like maybe the consequence for wrongdoing, communication dies, and then resentment grows, and before you know it, there will be emotional distance. It will begin to be widened more in your marriage. You are not teaching a lesson. I can tell you that you are teaching your spouse how to avoid you. You are teaching your spouse how to live without you. You are teaching your spouse how to stay away from you. You are teaching him detachment. My people, no marriage survives on emotional blackmail. You cannot blackmail your significant other with intimacy and expect things to go on well. So if you really want to teach a lesson in marriage, teach with communication, not with deprivation. Power game number 2, withholding intimacy to gain control, to have control in the marriage. Wait, since when has marriage become like a market, a trade by barter, where you wanted something out of somebody? Since when has it become like a tussle for superiority complex? Since when has it become a place to trade our pride? Wait, let me tell you that it is a misconception, a total misconception, when you feel that when you withhold intimacy, then you become powerful. It is a lie. Then you become the one in charge, in control. You gain control over your significant other, over your spouse. No, it is a lie. Do you know what the truth is? Is that using intimacy to dominate or control, it's inappropriate. Some spouses will actually think that if I say no long enough, then they will start doing whatever I want them to do. They will start behaving the way I want them to do. Hey, you cannot begin to put your spouse in a box trying to control him or her. Let me ask you, sir, let me ask you, madam, you want a fearful spouse, you want a submissive one, you want the one that won't say a word to you or that won't bring, then that means something is actually wrong. You cannot be 100% in control of your marriage. Listen to me, listen carefully, that manipulation in marriage with sexual intimacy is not empowerment. Control is never leadership. So fear, and then fear is not respect. So fear-based compliance is not love. It is something else. A spouse who behaves because of the fear of denial of Intimacy is not yielding to you. They are only surviving. And I can tell you that such a person is a hostage, a captive of the mighty. I'd love to ask if your spouse is actually trying to survive under your grip, okay, because they want to be in total control. Intimacy actually is supposed to be a mutual expression of love, not a battleground for dominance. And let me quickly remind you again about what the Bible says in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7. I kept on saying this because it teaches us mutual consent in marriage, mutual responsibility, and mutual connection. It is not through intimidation. So real power in marriage is influence and not intimidation. Please get that straight. Power game number 3. They'll value me more if I hold back. Who said so? This is a misconception. I can tell you that deprivation creates value. How? This will only breed more and more confusion. It will only bring more and more distance. They will respect me more if I starve them emotionally or sexually. Okay, so you are craving for respect, and you felt the only way you can get respect from your husband or from your wife is through deprivation of sexual intimacy. You are delusional, my friend. My people, there is no value in that. No, you won't be more valuable. You won't be more appreciated. I can tell you that your significant other will be more confused. Yes, you will dump him or her into confusion, and then they'll begin to think, what happens to me? Am I no longer attractive? Am I no longer wanted? What exactly is going on with him? There is no way you can gain more value. You cannot appreciate because of deprivation. Some people will even withhold intimacy because they want their spouse to chase harder. Okay, you want your spouse to chase you better. You want him to behave better, or you want him to appreciate you more, or you want her to appreciate you more. No, it does not work that way. Affection or desire doesn't grow under deprivation. Value doesn't come from scarcity. Value comes from relationship. So go ahead and fine-tune your relationship. A spouse that is left in the dark will begin to wonder, did I do something wrong? Did I go somewhere that I'm not supposed to be? Is he cheating on me? Is he okay? Is she sick? Can you see? You just created an atmosphere for confusion in your marriage. Instead of feeling valued, he or she will begin to feel so anxious, feel so jealous, feel so confused, and instead of feeling so secure, he or she will begin to feel punished. What is the essence of that? What value would that add to your marriage? I'm telling you, it will not add any value to your marriage, but instead it will deplete every value in your marriage. So go ahead and build influence. Go ahead and build relationship. Withholding intimacy doesn't create appreciation. Instead, it creates insecurity. And let me tell you that appreciation grows from connection. It is not from scarcity. Division in marriage gives the enemy a seat at the table, and then anytime that husband and wife are a bit distant away from them, hell is rejoicing. Hell is clapping for you, telling you to go ahead because you are already going against Abba, your creator. So don't give the devil a seat at your table, because in due course he will take over your whole house. He will take care of every other affairs of your family if you give the devil a place to stand in your family. Please, your enemy, yes, I would say that specifically, your very enemy, they love marital coldness. They are expecting that coldness to happen. So each time you are not in good time with your significant other, each time you deprive each other, each time you deny each other, now hear this from me loud and clear, that heaven isn't smiling in such circumstances. No, heaven is not smiling. When intimacy dies, friendship suffers, and then when friendship suffers in marriage, the marriage becomes weak. So intimacy is a glue. When you weaponize it, the glue weakens. So people of God, let me round up this way, that marriages thrive better when intimacy is considered as a ministry and not as a manipulation. So your bedroom shouldn't be a classroom. You shouldn't use intimacy to gain control, and don't think that when you deprive your significant other of sexual intimacy that you will appreciate and value. They are all misconceptions and they are all lies. Thank you so much for watching the series and the episode for today. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord bless your home. Thank you. My name is Helen, the set person of Marriage on the Rock and Singles with Purpose. See you in the next episode.